Okay, a very good afternoon, a very good morning. Now, why is this thing still singing? Let's just get this right. I'm just streaming at the moment. Just want to make sure this stops. There we go. Bit of finger trouble today. A very good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to everybody on frequency. This is Zulu Sierra 6 Yankee India, operating from Kilo Golf 33 X-Ray Hotel, which is about 50 kilometers south of Johannesburg, the Republic of South Africa. Today we're going to have quite an interesting setup. We have a number of chaps that have had exciting weeks, so we shall be going through the list in a moment. Just also wish to thank the Qatar Amateur Radio Society or Satellite Society for assisting us, allowing us a position on their satellite, and then of course AMSAT DL that arranged all this and came up with the concept, old Peter, and then AMSAT UK for their valued input on many fronts, and of course BATC. The British Amateur Television Club is a fantastic organization to join. So much information is available, and also kits to be able to build receivers, fantastic advice, and that also links through to other very important and informative networks. So it's well worthwhile having a look at the BATV or BATC, British Amateur Television Club. No doubt that's one of the, shall we say, driving forces behind this whole thing. Today on frequency we have ZV, 4Z1 Zulu Victor in Israel. He'll be reporting about his ham radio tour that he did to Germany. I know he was there. And also to the Maccabea special operation. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly, V, but you can help, Zvi. And then we have our old friend Saro. He's going to be on today at last. We're missing you, Saro. VU2RTF in India. And then he'll be followed by Ed Papa Yankee 2 Radio November, who has had a very exciting 10 or odd days doing rare DX contacts. I saw pile-up after pile-up on the narrowband side there, Ed, so it was successful. That is a ZU0FUN expedition. He'll be giving us a whole clip about that. Welcome to you, Nigel, again. 2 Echo 0 Echo Hotel. Nice to see you on today. Hello to Henry, ZS6 Mike Charlie. I think he's going to give us a bit of a slideshow, or he was trying to get one knocked up. And hello, Nick, again, a Golf 4IMO. And thanks for helping our dear friend Cor, Zulu Sierra 6 Charlie Romeo. Cor is also looking at the moment. He's watching, but he will be more active very shortly, I hope. He's getting himself ready to come on. Just having a look at the links at the moment on YouTube, so that's going out okay. And then hello to Leon, ZS1 Mike in Worcester, the Cape. He's busy building and doing a lot of projects, so he can tell us more about that. He's had to re-establish his dishes, so that's not a good thing. And then Bert, only RX today, busy with some home decorating, wall painting, but I also happen to know that you might be looking at the Grand Prix, seeing that you have a vested interest in that. Yeah, I spoke to Benno a bit earlier and he said, forgive me, I'm watching the Grand Prix today. So all good. Right, with that, Zvi, if you don't mind getting your engine started, and we'll pass the microphone back to you for Zulu 1 Zulu Victor from Zulu Sierra 6 Yankee India.
Okay, let's see that we got the audio. Okay, I will mute my audio. So, welcome everyone. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, whatever. Good to see you again. As Gary mentioned, I got back a week ago from the ham radio show at Friedrichshafen. Actually, we flew to Zurich, and the way from Zurich to Friedrichshafen took us like 10 days, because we did a round trip in the Switzerland lake, the Italian lake, the Dolomites. Actually, we climbed all the way to the top of the Marmalade, where the glacier crashed a few days ago, exactly at the place that we were at. Amazingly, I took a few photographs with my drone, as you can imagine. And finally, through the Austrian glaciers, Alps, hold on a second, we got to Germany and to Friedrichshafen. If I try to summarize this event, on the one hand, there were much lower participants on the side of the key presenters like Yaezu, Kenwood, Aircraft, Vimo, Tifona. They did not participate in the show. On the other hand, there were a lot of hands coming there. Probably it has to do with the corona, that after 2 years of staying at home, many people decided to come over. Let me share with you a few photographs I took during the show. Hold on a second. Okay, if you recall, this is Felix and Teresa last January on the way, on the icebreaker, on the way to Antarctica. The reason I'm showing it, so stay tuned. This is the surprise. I spoke about heavy participants. So this is a group of the Israelis. We were there almost 40 Israeli amateur radios. This is the Israeli booth. You can see all over the flag and photographs. It was interesting to see the DX Patrol presented their equipment for mobile operation. Actually, it's a up-down transverter that you can use like ICOM 705 or similar transceiver. And by using only this small box and the transceiver and a modified LMD and a small dish, you can get up in the air. Even though they charge for it like 600 euro, the stock disappeared within 1 day. On the second day, you could not buy it anymore. They also presented a new version of this transverter, which enable also to work a full duplex. This one is a half duplex. Probably they don't have it yet on the production, but they were ready to take orders, and they charge for it 1,000 euro. And amazingly, people placed advance orders. I also participated in the DATC session on DATV. Those of you who watched it, I did my best to promote our DATV network. I hope that some people will participate in the coming DATV Net. This is the regular junkyard. It was less crowded than before. I must admit that I bought only the ham radio shirts. I didn't spend that much. Usually I spend between 1,000 to 1,500 euro. In this show, I spend most of the time on social activities. And talking about social activities, this is Lina, Delta Lima 2 GRC, and this is her husband. It was very interesting, like I was almost hugging kisses. So we had hugs without kisses, but it was very interesting to meet this lady. She is a real energizer. She is all over, either the microphone or the keyboard. And interesting enough, her husband is complimenting her. He is more on the technology side. So she's doing the talking and he's doing the technology. And spoke about surprise. This is Teresa, the lady that we saw on the icebreaker. She spent some time at Antarctica. She was the engineer there. She's also ham radio. She gave a very interesting lecture. This is me, of course. I missed the lecture of Felix. That was really interesting as well, as I heard from other people who attended it. This is Harald, if you recall, the guy who operates from Rwanda. This is all, again, we see here Nina, and this is part of the team that was in Rwanda under the 9X4X team last year. And last but not least, I took the liberty to deliver a presentation on the central stage and to speak about my portable station and portable activity. I got almost 1 hour on the central stage, so it was interesting enough. So let's move to the Maccabia. Let me bring up. Let's go to the website, to QRZ.com. So the Maccabiah games, it's actually, I would call it the Hebrew or the Jewish version of the Olympic Games. It takes place every 4 years. This year, it's the 24th Maccabiah Games that will take place in Israel, near Tel Aviv. It will start this Tuesday and will continue for 2 weeks. There will be athletics from all over the globe. I think like 80 countries will participate. And we as Ham Radios will participate as well. And we are happy to announce a special operation that will take place starting this Tuesday on the 12th of July. By the way, all the information is on QRZ.com, and we will operate under 2 call signs. One is 4X-Ray 21, Maccabiah Game, Mike Golf, stands for Maccabiah Games, and 4X-Ray 4 Zulu 21, that stands for, stands for Maccabiah Game. But we will have 2 call signs, 4 X-Ray 21 MG and 4 Zulu 21 MG. On each one of these call signs, we will have a total of over 50 operators, Israeli operators. We will operate on all modes, all bands, including QO-100. And those of you, let me show you the site where you can monitor your results. Like in other operation, you will be able to plug your call sign and see if you are entitled to get the certificate. And for getting the certificate, all you need to do is have a total of 4 QSOs, 2 with each station, on separate dates and on separate either modes or bands. And let me just share with you the announcement of Arik Zehevi. He's the chairman of the Maccabiah game. Let me see if it's going to work. I think I had a problem with the audio. Let me start it again.
For the 21st Maccabiah game. Hello, dear radio hands from all over the world. I'm Arik Zehevi, chairman of the Maccabiah game, Olympic bronze medalist, and a former Israeli Jewish person. I would like to invite you all to participate in the Israeli Amateur Radio Club special activity for the 21st Maccabiah game. The activity will be from the 12th till the 26th of July 2022. Special awards and souvenirs will be presented for higher achievements. I'm 73 and 88 to you all.
Okay, so let's hope to see, let me bring myself again. Let's hope to see all of you on at least on the QO-100. I'm sure part of you will operate on HF again, and my friend Eduardo, I'm sure he will make at least 10 QSOs with each one of those stations. So, by saying that, let me transfer the microphone to Saro. Hey, Saro, good to see you again after so long time. So, let me turn off my video and transfer the transmission.
Yeah. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, my dear friends. Thank you for letting me in. Sorry for the delay. As usual, very long time It's too much gap. Once again, my camera is not on. Okay, good. Now it's fine, I think. Very long time I am not operated my shack properly, and also shifted again inside my bedroom. So now back to normal, I think. The signal also fine. Yeah, first of all, good afternoon, Gary. Good morning, Ed, and good afternoon, Juvika, and good afternoon, Nikhil, Henry, Nick, Leon, Bert. Very good net, I think it's going to be. I don't have any projects to show here, but I'm watching the net always through the YouTube link, and sometime the direct RX also. Tom did a good job to watching the net on the TV on the living room. So I am really happy and enjoyed many times. So thank you very much, all of you. Just I am going to watch the net today, and I am going to listen all your things. So time being 73 is all of you. I pass the microphone to Ed. Very good morning, Ed. Please go ahead and start your transmission.
All right, hello, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, everybody. 73 to all viewers. Glad to be participating again on the Sunday DATV Net via Qatar Oscar 100. Thank you, Saro. Hello, Gary, Zvika, Saro, Nigel, Henry, Nick, Leon, and Bert. So far, great images from Gary, Zvika, and Saro. Beautiful images, very good transmission. I'm just coming back from a little expedition I did this week to Fernando de Noronha Island, Papa Yankee 0 Foxtrot, and this is an oceanic island. Actually, this is a national park, a national reserve park. Lots of control and bureaucracy to get into there. Although, I mean, it's not like a it's a park, but actually there is like a small city there. There is about, I believe, 1,200 people living there, and they live basically, for tourism. But it's a reserve, and cannot say that it's the cheapest place to be because you have to pay lots of fees and preservation fees, stuff like that. They are very restricted concerning plastic, stuff like that. I didn't get any problems to get my equipment there. Amateur radio is like a totally green hobby, right? So we don't produce any garbage, so we are okay with that. And the only thing at the airport, they got a little picky with my radio, with the FT847. But no problem. I explained it what was that radio, because I carried on the radio, of course. And in the back travel, the funny thing is that in the X-ray in the airport, they put my bag through the X-ray like 3 or 4 times. The guys was, what is that? What is that? And then the lady came, say, can you please open your bag? I said, yeah, sure. And she's checking, and she got the little EDUP amplifier, the 8-watt amplifier. Yeah, what is this? This is a Wi-Fi amplifier. If you want, you can keep it, but it doesn't give 8 watts. It's only 4.5 watts. Oh boy! And she was okay with the little amplifier. Okay, guys, I have a quick video from the island, from my operational conditions that I got there. So I intend to play here for you guys, if you allow me. I just will try to find, because as you all know, Mr. OBS is not easy to deal with, but I think I found it. So I'm gonna play the video now. Yes, okay, that was it. I mean, I got about 1,230 QSOs. I would say about 500 QSOs over QO-100. No DATV at this time. Who knows next time. Also, I get frustrated because people from LEO, the LEO operators, low Earth orbit satellites, they were with a very high expectative to work mid-air, mainly for North America, but unfortunately I got problems with the rig on UHF. I was not able to receive or transmit on 435, and unfortunately LEO operation was not possible this time. I apologize to everybody that was expecting Papa Yankee Zero Foxtrot via LEO, but gonna be next time. Maybe other operator gonna be there, and we'll work the LEO guys. All right, it's enough from me. Thank you very much, and I pass now to Nigel. To Echo Zero Echo Hotel Hotel. Nigel, camera goes to you.
One, two. 1, 2, test 1, 2. I think I'm getting through. 1, 2, test 1, 2. I just turn the volume down and put the camera on. Yeah, good afternoon, good evening, and good morning to everybody. Nice to see you all, and well, I often see you, but I'm not normally transmitting. So hopefully I've sorted my receive out. What I've been doing this week, I used to have transmit and receive on the same 1.2 meter dish at 1.2, but I couldn't get very good receive. It all kept playing up, so I decided, right, we'll have another dish up. So I've got an 80 centimetre dish on receive on the LMV and a potty on the transmit, and I think I've sussed it. I was debating whether I need to have a 1.2 metre dish up on receive, but at the moment the 80 centimetre dish seems to be good enough. Although in saying that, this morning, always after waiting for the net to start, Gary, your audio come through spot on, but your video, you froze. Everybody else I'm getting is okay, so I don't know. He didn't like your setup, but that could be still my end, mate, I'm not saying. That's it. So it's rather warm, about 30 Celsius in the UK at the moment. Too hot for us, we're not used to it. Just give you a quick overview of the shack, or part of the shack. Have it froze? As it froze? Let's see. As it froze? I don't think so. Probably didn't like that. Oh no, there's. So I've got the ports down here. That's going into a Winter Hill. And then on the back of that I've got a 4-port splitter, and that underneath is the mini driver for the transmit. So the more you have, you seem to have cables all over the place. But I'm getting there slowly. I'm still not 100%, but every week it's getting better. Keep trying, so that's it. Anyway, I'll keep it short because it's half past. Just gone 2:30 locally. And I'll pass it over to Henry ZS Mike Charlie. I just put the test card back on just for clarity, so nobody's looking at my mug every time. So when I drop the carrier, Henry, over to you, mate. Yeah, I got carrier quarter. So I'll pass over to ZS6 Mike Charlie.
Okay. Let me just get myself sorted out here. Move my audio down slightly. There we go. Good afternoon to everyone. Hello Nigel, nice to meet you. To Echo Zero, Echo Hotel, Hotel. I think I have that correct. Yes, and good afternoon to everybody on DATV today. Very nice to have such a big net on. So Gary, thank you very much for running the net as always. Thank you. Very always dependable to do so. Thank you, Gary. Zvi, mashlomcha. It's nice to meet you, and very nice to see everything that you did, and also with regards to the Maccabi games. So that should be very, very interesting. Good stuff. Saro, nice to see you, man. I hope you're well, and yeah, you mustn't be shy. Just pop in and say hello to us all and see how things go. And very interesting, Ed. Good stuff. 10 out of 10, and really nice. And well, it looks like you had great fun, Ed, and that's all that's important. It's all about the fun. And Nigel, as I said before, and then of course Nick that comes after me, Leon and Bert, and then of course Mike, who is watching at the present moment. It's a rather big net today, so I'll try not to take too long. This what I did now is totally beyond me. In fact, if it works, it's going to be a miracle. If it doesn't work, then we'll just say that's it. We've given it our best shot. So I'm going to just remove my my video for a moment, and I hope the audio is still coming through. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to switch this on. I just want to do a very short slideshow. I've never done anything technical here, and what I'm trying to do here is to show you a restoration project that I did with regards to a Collins 651 S1. When I received this piece of equipment, this is what you see. It was totally banged up. It was used by the military. It was thrown onto a dump heap, and somebody collected it and kept it, and then finally asked me if I would like to give it a shot in the restoration of this thing. So now I must see how to do this. I want to see it. Oh yeah, boy, yeah. Looks like I've done something here, and I don't know how to do this now. But in any case, what I did was, there we go. So hopefully I can get this going. Just bear with me. There we go. This is the second slide. And this is just to go back, I see it's on transmission mode, it's not on manual mode. And this is what it looked like when I started taking it apart, and the harness. And if you look at this piece of equipment, it's actually been banged and bunged up quite badly, and it's all bent and buckled. If you look at the right hand side, you'll see that it's quite bent and buckled to the right by those cans that you see. This is the bottom side of it. I had started cleaning it up, making it look a little bit neat, but unfortunately you'll see that the cover was actually mangled, absolutely mangled, and it's got scratches on it and all that type of thing, and the bottom as well. And what I did was I took it in and I actually had it panel beat it, call it that, and it made sort of in a form that was relatively good enough for it. This is the meter faceplate, totally bent and buckled, because what they did was they ripped out the meter faceplate and ripped out the meter. And this is the faceplate. I cleaned it up a little bit, and this particular connector I couldn't get. I had to import it from the States because it was just not available here. And after quite a lot of wrangling, I got this connector here and managed to do it. Now here's a problem. The slideshow only does 10 slides. But ultimately, what I do want to show you is this. This is the final product after I'd finished it. And the meter that you see here I got from Italy. In fact, a very nice guy in Italy sold it to me. And they are very rare. It's unobtainium, I think, is the word that they use. The other thing that you see here, which I'll maybe show on another occasion, is the unit actually where you see all the LED displays. I had to rebuild it completely, so I actually designed circuit boards and everything so that these LED, and I placed these LED drivers and also the LED display on the board, and then used it. Now, what I would have liked to is have the audio, but there is no, it's not actually playing, which is quite sad. You can actually hear it in the background.
Whereas if you snip the leads, then you end up with something that you have to rewind. There's a thought. And then before you cut or break anything, see if you can take a couple of pictures for me of the inside of the box, just showing the cores. And
so this
I can then say to you what they probably used for.
Just shows the final product after I'd restored it. In fact, I had to. The whole unit had to be re-welded, aluminium welded on the top side, so it could all be put together. It was really utterly broken. So, yeah, one of those things, and I had fun restoring it, but it was really not the easiest restoration that I've ever had. And if you look at this particular faceplate, you'll see the top arm is missing, totally. Above that black bracket that's bent like that, it's totally missing. So that had to be re-welded on. I've managed to find it, and the guy actually re-welded it onto it. Those 11-pin connectors that you see, or 9-pin connectors, is where the LED displays actually fit in after I'd finished with the PC boards. But anyway, that's it. I think it's enough. Unfortunately, I couldn't show you all the pictures because for some unknown reason, OBS doesn't allow you to show more than a certain amount, or it's just a setting on my side. Anyway, I was very lucky. I've actually got a nice 651 S1 fully restored, and it's actually pride of place for me. It's got an incredible receiver. It's just unbelievably, and it's first solid state rig of the 1960s, 70s by Collins, and the integrated circuits are way ahead of the time that that's actually inside here, and they've slotted in with circuit boards, so circuit boards are actually physically slotted in. So that's it, guys, from my side. Let me just go back and just remove this, and hopefully my video source will come back, and there I am. So this is totally new to me, totally foreign, guys. I don't know how I actually managed that, because I did it in an hour. So for me to have achieved that, it's an achievement all on its own for me. So thank you very much. I think it is Nick to come up next. Nick, nice to see you on DATV, and have fun. So there we go. Just let me undo myself here. Okay, handing over to Nick as G4IMO.
Yeah, okay, Henry, thanks for that. Yeah, I've got my audio there. Where's my camera? There we go. Yeah, that's an excellent restoration project there you've done, Henry. Absolutely first class, when you consider it was all it was all mangled up. Yeah, superb. And excellent. I'm going to make this a very short transmission because today It is extremely hot here. It's 27 degrees outside, and my PA is already at 37. So I don't think I'm going to hold this very long. Anyway, I've been playing with my RSP1A, my little SDR receiver, and I've put up an aerial, an antenna, which I can show you. Where is it? Click that on there. Yeah, that's the antenna. That's supposedly covers 25 right the way through to 2000 megahertz, but I think that's a bit optimistic. But it certainly works very well on 2 meters and 70 centimeters, and what I really wanted it for was for the aircraft frequencies, 130 megs, and the military sort of 270, 280. So that's up at about 25 feet, something like that. And it works very well. I was having a tune round last week, and I used that in conjunction with there's a website called Flight Radar 24, which if you take a look at Flight Radar 24, and it shows a map of the UK and all the aircraft on there as they move about, which is quite useful. And of course now you can actually listen to the communications. And there was an aircraft that was flying a circular circuit over the North Sea, just going round and round and round. And this aircraft had taken off from RAF Lakenheath, and there was another aircraft which approached it, and they were practicing air-to-air refueling. So it was quite nice to hear the comms between the two aircraft. That was quite fascinating. And the Red Arrows were out practicing up near RAF Scampton as well. That was something else that was quite interesting to watch and to listen to. I was going to do a little talk on this little radio here, but I think I'm going to leave this for another time. This is a radio used by the Czech army, but as my PA temperature now is up at 42 degrees, I think I'm going to have a very short transmission. So anyway, it was nice to see everybody on the net. Oh, Nigel, okay, on your 80 centimeter for receive, that's a little bit too small. I think I use separate here. I've got a 90 centimeter for receive, and I think probably the reason you weren't receiving Gary too well is because he was on an FEC of 3/4, whereas most people on here use 2/3, and of course if you use an FEC of 3/4, you have to run or the signal that you receive isn't as strong, so that's possibly why. Okay, that's enough from me. I think it's extremely warm here, so let's put it over to Leon there and see what he's been up to. I can never remember his call sign. Right, Leon, ZS1 Mike G4IMO.
He normally comes up very, very promptly. This is ZS6YI, just taking it. Hello, Mick. And Nigel. I think, Nigel, I've gone over to 2/3 when you mentioned you were having difficulty. So I thought I'll go over to 2/3 for you, seeing that you're running a smaller dish. And I certainly hope it's coming through. A very good afternoon to Nina, if I see she's on to our DATV Net. And very good indeed to have you on. And it was nice to see you on the photograph just now. Right. Let me just see who else is on. Yeah, I just want to say hello to Quirby, ZS6 Kilo Victor Zulu. ZS6 Kilo Victor Zulu. He's also watching on YouTube. Hello, Quirby. And also hello to all the other guys on YouTube. There's a number. At one stage we were 20. We're now sitting at 58 views so far. Okay, let me quickly pass it to the next guy, seeing that Leon wasn't on. It will be Mike, Golf Zero, Mike Juliet Whiskey. Will you please take it, Mike? You can pass it back to me. We'll throw it through again in case Leon doesn't come up. But maybe you just give a gap. Golf Zero, Mike Juliet Whiskey to take from Zulu Sierra 6, Yankee, India.
Okay, I think I'm up now. Sorry about that. The PTT just didn't work. I clicked on the Toeringkies transmit thing and it just wouldn't go on the Pluto's controller. Anyway, I had to reboot the computer and there we are. Okay, good morning, good afternoon and good evening to everybody. Very nice signals all round. I see mine doesn't look so good now. Maybe we need to jack up the power a little bit. No, other way. That way. There's definitely something very, very strange going on here. Now that's about what it should be. Okay. Yeah. Okay, Zvi. Very nice video that you showed on the Friedrichshafen. Sorry that the junk cell wasn't so broad as it usually is, and the Maccabea. I've never heard of that. That's absolutely fresh news to me. Saru, thanks for coming up at last. Nice seeing you, and hope we'll have you on regularly now. Ed, yeah, very nice island expedition thing there, and a very nice video, very well edited, really nice video. It was very, very interesting. And also Nigel, yep, your video quality is nice, your audio was nice. You just need a bit of light on yourself. You just need a touch more light. You were like in the shade. Your transmission was perfect. No complaints about that. And Henry, the Collins, I don't know. That's a very modern Collins. I don't know that one at all. The Collinses I know are Valve. And quite the job. Yeah, you know, that thing must have been through the military or something. They have no respect for radios. They like to get them just out of the way, fit the new one, and just send it to the dump. I've seen that many times. Oh, terrible. Okay, and Nick, yeah, of course your signal is perfect. We know it by now, and your video, and interesting on that little spider antenna you have up there. Yes, it must be some sort of, I don't know what. But you get them. They're no good for transmit, but for receive they actually do work. Okay, what's going on here on my side? I still have the builders here. Everything is full of concrete droplets, and you carry concrete into the house with your feet, and oh, it's a mess. But they're making good progress, I must say. Their workmanship is very good. and the progress is good. So hopefully tomorrow they'll carry on. Talking about aeroplanes, yeah, somebody is making some horrible things there next to us. We lost our one club aeroplane yesterday. I just have one very poor photo of the thing here. I can perhaps just show you guys. Fortunately, the instructor and the youngster who was with him are unharmed. But all that is left of the Piper Cherokee is the tail. The whole thing burnt out. You can see some of the fire brigade people there and so on, and yeah, even the horizontal stab is skewed, so that's probably also half broken off. And the one wing, the right hand wing, broke off. It's still full of fuel and lying there in the field. The left wing and the fuselage was all burnt out. What happened is, it was a beautiful day yesterday morning. Not a breath of wind, not a leaf moving. The guys were flying model aeroplanes on the model field. And then within a second, less than a second, there was a 40-knot wind blowing. The guys took pictures of the weather station there at the airfield. So this guy was coming in for a landing, but because the windsock was hanging straight down, you can come in from any direction. You can land from any direction. There's no wind. And just as he was almost touching down, this wind came, and it was a perfect 40-knot tailwind. Now, on a light aircraft, you normally come in at 80 knots. It's your normal landing speed. It's about 15 knots above stalling speed. So it's safe. You come in at a reasonable speed. You always aim for about 80 knots. But when you all of a sudden you have a 40-knot tailwind, your airspeed is 40 knots. So you drop out of the sky like a ton of bricks, because your stall speed is about 62 knots, but you're now doing 40 knots. So you've got no lift. And he opened the throttles again, but it wasn't enough. He got airborne, basically, went through the fences at the end of the runway. Then he was running on the grass, and then there was a big tree trunk lying across the field, and he just pulled up, and he actually made it over that and went down on the other side, because remember, he's got no flying speed with this hell of a tailwind. And the next stopper was two concrete fence posts, and the right hand wing hit the fence post and broke off clean. And after that, he still moved on a little bit, and then there was it's like a little rivulet thing, and they landed in there on the side. Fortunately, the right hand side, because I think the door on the Piper is on the left hand side, so that was up, and they got out very quickly, and the whole thing went up in flames. So yeah, now we only have one aircraft left in the club. So that's all the news from Worcester for now. Yeah, my power is, yeah, it looks it's almost a bit high, I'd say. Can bring it back a bit. So right, okay, Gary, back to you. ZS6 Yankee India for the group, and hi to Bert there, who's in receive mode only. We'll get you next time. I'm in emergency mode. Yeah, I had to take down 2 of my dishes for the builders to be working up there on the outbuildings, and they were in the way. So I'm receiving on my first experimental dish. The transmit the system is still standard, but my reception is not. Instead of having the beacon as a D6, I now have the beacon as a D4. Over to you, Gary. ZS6YI for the group, ZS1MM.
Okay, Leon, ZS1 Mike, ZS6YI returning. Gee, what a story. What a story. Very pleased to hear that nobody got hurt. My gums. You know, that can be a disaster, especially with the speed at which this suddenly occurs. Hello to you, Mike. Watching the net. The net is large enough already without me waffling on. Well, Mike, you are more than welcome to grab it if you wish. We always like to hear from you, and anyway, just to see you. We go into withdrawal symptoms if we don't get to see our dear friend. Okay, now to quickly comment. I tell you, it's been quite interesting. Let me just see what Mike says. Oh, not set up. Okay, Mike, not a worry, not a worry. Zvi, very interesting visit. I know you were in Germany because a friend of mine from South Africa wanted to contact you, or he tried to, and that's Adi, ZS6CNC, but he was in Israel for a while, but you were in Germany, so you missed each other, which is a pity. Adi's a very nice chap indeed, and hopefully we can get him onto DATV one of these days, but he's having a lot of fun on CW, on the narrowband side, of course. But thank you very much for that, and very interesting on this special operation coming up shortly, starting Tuesday. We'll see if we can participate. Saro, always good to see you, and I thought you'd forgotten the music on. Yeah, that's what happens when you don't operate your station often. You forget, but not a problem. You came through very well as usual. Always good to see you. We miss you as well if you don't come on. Ed, yeah, that was a nice video indeed, and also the landing. That was a planned landing, not like what Leon was describing just now. And it looks like you had a lot of fun. I know, I could see on the narrowband frequencies, by gums, you had your hands full. So it'll be good if you can arrange another expedition sometime with some help and do the Leos. I'm almost sure there's a number of guys in South Africa that would be able to and would like to work you on Leo. Nigel, good to see you. Yeah, I hope you can see me now. I've dropped my FEC rate just to assist. And I just want to see what my power levels are like, by the way. Yeah, it should be okay. You should be able to see that. Now, normally I go on 3/4, but it doesn't matter. 2/3 is almost as good a quality. So that's fine. Yeah, I would have liked a little bit more audio from you, in fact. Perhaps next time you can just talk closer to the mic, Nigel, if you can, and then because there were times when you came through very well. I am streaming on YouTube, so I like to keep the levels quite constant. Henry, you did great job on those. Firstly, fantastic job on the restoration. I don't think I would have wanted to face that. I would have dumped it. But good for you on the tenacity and the TUBSAT to carry on with that. Very, very well done. Came out beautifully, and it seems to work well. I could even recognize the voice in the background, and that was Chris Turner, ZS6 Golf Mike, whom I know very well. Chris and I met in October of 1973. Anyway, he worked at Field Aviation. So we have a long history, a good guy, actually. And then, by the way, Henry, I'll show you a little program. It's called InFran View, INFRAN, InFran View. That can do your slideshow for you. Because there is an issue with the slideshow capability on OBS, but that one works like a dream. You can do 1,000,000 slides if you want. So I'll give you the link. You can download it, and from there you just load what you want to do, and you let it run. It can even run automatically if you want, no problem. So it's a useful thing to have if you're going to do more than 10 slides or so. Nick, good to hear you and see you. It's a pity your amp's getting a bit hot, but you know what? With this over, you might be able to come back and show us that little transmitter or transceiver. Nick, the antenna you're using, in the military days, we used to call it a biconical, a skeletal biconical. Originally, we used to take two funnels, cones in metal, copper or aluminium, and we would have like a dipole, but with the phone, the thing sticking out, and that would give you a very wide band. That's the only reason. It's a very broad-banded thing. So what they did is they made it into a skeletal, so they've taken all the surface away, and then they tuned some of the elements for the higher frequencies. The lower frequencies, obviously the longer element, the higher you go, they tune it. As a receiving antenna, it's great. It sort of does its thing. The impedance is all over the show. And of course, the return loss is madness. But so as rightly as Leon says, you don't use that to transmit. But we did in the army. Actually, we had biconicals. Some people would refer to them as a disc cone, but that's incorrect. A disc cone is one cone and then a round ground plane disc. Or actually, sometimes a disc is your driven element, and then your cone is your reflectors. Depends how you want to configure it. But anyway, they are good antennas for I've got an AOR scanner. I used to use something similar built up, and it worked okay. It was fine. It's better than a piece of string, put it that way. Right, Leon, yeah, excellent on that sad story about the aircraft that you guys have lost, but good night to the guys. And, Bert's busy working, so we will not bother him any further. And of course, Mike is also busy. So I will pass it back to Zvi if you're there. Zvi, back to the list. Saro, Ed, maybe Nigel, and we'll have a quick round. Yeah, it's it's just over an hour, so we'll keep them short, and then we'll open up the frequency. For Zulu 1, Zulu Victor, to take it, you can start your engines. This is Zulu Sierra 6 Yankee India. Your engines. V if you let's see who the next guy is. Let's just go down the net. The next guy will be Saro. You pass it to Ed to Nigel again, Nigel to Henry, to Nick, Leon, and that should be us. So VU2RTF.
Yeah, very good afternoon to you, all of you guys. Maybe microphone, yeah, I have to mute. Yeah, Gary, it will take some time to settle again in my shack, and also I'm added the new microphone. I don't know how it is performing. I have to check it everything again. And nothing more here, all my friends. So very nice net, enjoyed again. So 73 is all of you. See you next week with the interesting projects from my side. So nothing else. 73 is bye-bye.
Okay, I moved my FEC to 2/3 as well. because if Nigel could not see Gary, so I'm afraid he missed all my transmission. But I'm 2/3 now. Hopefully he can see me. Hey Saro, nice to see you, my friend. Don't forget you are co-founder of the DATV Worldwide Net, so you are legally responsible to be here as much as you can, Saro. So, but you have nice transmission as always, Saro. Good audio, perfect audio, studio quality audio and transmission, audio and video. As well as Gary, of course. I enjoyed much Zvi presentation from Frederick Schaffen, and see the pictures there. Also the new competition there would be nice to join. Although, to be honest with you guys, I'm a little bit overdosed with radio. After 1,200 QSOs, this is the first time I'm on the radio, and even though it's a video QSO, not accessible, but I'm still a little bit tired. But I probably gonna recover in a few days. Nigel to Echo Zero, Echo Hotel, your image was fine, but your audio, at least for me, was very low. Your audio was very low, so you can increase your microphone gain or something. It would be great. Henry, I was delighted with your presentation. Beautiful. Congratulations on your restoration work for the Collins equipment. It's really beautiful. I confess, when you showed the I thought, well, maybe he women that on YouTube that was working. No, that's your restored equipment. That was fantastic. Congratulations on that. Come on. Here in the summer, the amplifier, without using it, without transmitting anything, the temperature goes up to 34, 35, just in standby mode in summertime. Now we are in amplifier. So not too bad. And nice antenna for reception with the RSP1. Flight Radar 24, a very known site. I use many years ago. I used to be a feeder for that site here from South America. I had a ADSB decoder even before the RTL SDR dongles era. I had a decoder and I used to feed Flight Radar 24 with the aircraft ADSB information. Leon, nice to see you, man. Very nice transmission, very nice images, and very sorry to see the aircraft crash. And relieved to know that people got saved. That's the most important. G0MGW, and I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened. I just went off. Hopefully I'm back again. Okay, last test is I'm gonna compare two cameras with you guys just to show you something about dynamic range for the cameras. I'm using, right now you're seeing me through Eagle Eye. It's an Eagle Eye camera. It's kind of greenish, And now I'm gonna switch for the logic. Oh no, I'm gonna make the dynamic range test, and I'm gonna put my hand very close. I'm putting my hand very close to the camera, so you're gonna see that my hand is kind of dark. And so that was the Eagle Eye camera. Now I'm gonna switch to the Logitech camera. The Logitech camera is a little bit more reddish than greenish. And let's make the dynamic range test now with the Logitech camera. Yeah, you see, it has a much better dynamic range or auto adjustment. Very nice. Yeah, I like this little Logitech camera. Alright guys, thank you very much. Great net as always. Today was very interesting. Thank you very much for all. 73, have a nice upcoming weekend. Now I'm going to NIGO 2 Echo 0 Echo Hotel Hotel. Please proceed, NIGO 7312. Bye bye.
One, two. 1, 2, test, test. 1, 2, test. Okay, turn it down. Yeah, thanks, Ed. I switched the lights on, Leon, and shut the door, so obviously the camera lights would come up okay. Yes, that's a scary moment, that plane crashing, Leon. God, if I was in there, I'd have a poo on the table. I'd say no more. I really would. Anyway, I understand what Nick Henry said about, was it Henry? No, Nick, about the 80 metre 1 to 1.2 metre dish. I think I am, because I mean this time, Ed, I couldn't get your, I couldn't get your pic. I got your audio and your picture, but it frozen like Gary's. So it looks like I'm going to have a 1.2 metre dish, change it for 18 as a standby dish, or me use it to go put that on. Unlikely for me to go portable in the UK. Well, it's not impossible, but it's a lot harder work. So Nick, if you can, you find my email address, or just put it on the chat where you got your 1.2 metre dish from, because the one I got, I've tried to get it from the famous known advertisement, but it's not on there anymore. So I wondered if what's happened there. I wonder if you could just pass me on to a retailer where I could get a 1.2 metre dish. Sorry about Mike only receiving. I'll keep it short. Where I could get a 1.2 yeah, but I hope my audio's a bit better. I'll have to turn up a bit more, because I've turned up on OBS, but I'm using a Rhodes microphone, and I might have to go into that and turn the dBs up. I'll see what it's set at. Both of us made a difference. So, who's next on the list? Who's next? Both of us made a difference. Henry. So it was probably Henry. No, yeah, it's Henry. ZS6 Mike Charlie. Henry, you can take the microphone. Good day and good evening, good evening. Nice to see everybody. 73 and hope to catch you next Sunday. 2E0HH going to stand by and watch until the end of the night. Bye bye. God bless. I'll put the test card up so you're not looking at my ugly mud. 1, 2, 3. I'll put the
It's nice to meet you for the first time on DATV, and hopefully we'll see each other far more often on DATV. We tend to do a lot of testing but not really chatting, and I'm still trying to figure out a way having 2 monitors or having something which is like Winter Hill, where I can see what's going on the channel next to me and call on the other one. So yeah, that's the way. Otherwise, I found the easiest is you just go on top of the guy, you transmit, and the the level spikes up and comes down again, and then somebody knows that you're there. I normally do that to Nick. Anyway, that's all part of the fun. I must say, this is an amazing little escapade, if I can call it that. It really keeps the synapses going. But just to go back, and Nick, very interesting on your antenna. Yeah, and Gary corrected me. I would have called it a discount, but it certainly isn't. Definitely is not one. So you've got a nice piece of equipment there, and of course with the SDR play, that should work very, very well. I think that's my next little SDR receiver that I'll get, is the SDR play, because it really will work well with what Leon has asked Tom to do. So that would be very nice. The Air Spy, I think, is a little bit out of my reach at this moment in time, but yeah, and I actually think that the bandwidth of the SDR play is a little bit wider than the Air Spy as well. But anyway, I could be open to correction there. Leon, yeah, thank you very much for a very interesting discussion on that aeroplane. I mean, gee whiz, luckily nobody was hurt. Look at it. It's really burnt out and really finished. I'm just thinking on the insurance company, how they're going to deal with it. Should be interesting indeed. But as you say, the guy's got logical reasoning. I mean, he had a tailwind that came and just took him out. I mean, there's nothing you can do. And I was watching something on TV the other day. It was a German station actually physically showing aeroplanes coming into land on crosswinds, and it's phenomenal to see the guys coming sideways. And I was on an aeroplane once as well, where I looked out of the window and I was looking back, sort of back down the runway, and that really wasn't that was very scary for me. But anyway, Leon, nice, thank you very much for that. Bert, I know you're only on receive today, but nice to know that you're there. And of course, Mike, you as well. Nice to know that you're there. You always, both of you are always very interesting when it comes to DATV. Gary, once again, thank you very much for running the net. As always, job well done. And thank you for InfraView, Irfan View. I've got it here. I'll have a look at it and see how I can fit it in with OBS, but I'm sure it will work very, very well. Zvi, if you're still around, very interesting as always. And you must have had a good time over there in Germany. Really, it's a different part of the world, that, and certainly always Friedrichshafen is always very, very interesting. Saru, nice to see you again, my friend, and I hope that, and by the way, Saru, a very good signal, and of course a very, very good audio, so I wouldn't touch anything there. It's working really, really well. And Ed, sorry, Nigel will be, but Ed, from your side, always interesting. You've always got some kind of graphics, some kind of interesting cartoon, always something that's really attracts one's attention, which is really, really nice. And I'm sure you had great fun on your adventure, so that was good. Pity I'm unfortunately not on a narrowband, so could not raise it and get to you. I could hear it, but I could not transmit. And then finally, Nigel, nice to meet you once again. Thank you very much for being the lead here, handing over to me. And I'm sure we'll see each other again on DATV. It will be great fun. Okay, that's it from me. Nick, it's you up, my friend. Thank you very much to everyone on DATV today. And we certainly will be on next Sunday. Hopefully I'll have something again. But it's not always that easy. Okay, Nick, G4IMO. And the net, this is ZS6MC, wishing you all a good day, and we'll see each other again next Sunday. Bye for now.
Yeah, okay, Henry. Just check my audio. Yeah, okay, that's good. One thing I meant to say, I've got my copy of CQTV, which has arrived here. So there's lots of interesting articles in there. So I'm that arrived yesterday. So I shall have a read through that this afternoon. Nigel, yes. Yeah, when I started off on this project of mine, this QO-100 project, I already had a 90 centimetre for receive, and I didn't have anything for transmit. And I looked around on the various second-hand places like eBay and that sort of thing, and you can find them on there, but the trouble is they're miles away, and a 1.2 metre dish won't fit in my car, and I'd have to buy a roof rack, fit it on a roof rack, and then of course it was like hundreds of miles away. So the one I use, I purchased that brand new, because I waited sort of a long time hoping I was going to find something locally, and of course typical Murphy's Law, there wasn't anything. So as I say, that was new, and actually that's a 1.3 metre that I use for transmit, with a little 3.5 turn helix on there, helical, and that was £275, so they are quite expensive. So, as I say, apart from looking around on eBay, if there is one that's sort of fairly near to you, that might be a cheaper option. But they are quite hard to get hold of. So that's that. But if you want, I'll have a look on your webpage, and I'll email you the shop. As I say, it was quite expensive. That was a bit of a shame. Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's sad. That is very sad, Leon. That little Cherokee 140. Yeah, that is bad. That but at least the pilot was okay. At least he walked away from it. But yeah, I mean that's just one of those things, isn't it? That's a great shame. In my flying career, I've not had any serious accidents. If you have a look at my QRZ page, there's a photograph on there of the aircraft, or one of the aircraft that I used to fly, which is a Yankee AA-1, which is a small two-seater. I was a part owner of that, and we had that for about 8 months, 9 months, something like that. I used to fly that, and we sold that, and unfortunately it came to a very sad end. The pilot was very seriously injured in that, and he had a passenger as well. I think was killed, but he was coming into land. He was on the approach, and he was just coming up to the threshold he was about 30 feet above the runway, and suddenly the throttle went to maximum. And in hindsight, what he could have done was to just turn the engine off, but he didn't. He tried to fly it. And of course, because the throttle's now gone to maximum, he's now started to lift off again, and he then found that the throttle cable was no longer connected. So eventually, the aircraft ended up in the fire safety man's office window. It crashed into the window, and the plane was a complete write-off. And he was seriously injured. But what happened was the cable had come disconnected from the the carburettor, and of a very poor design, was that there's a little tiny spring on the lever of the carburettor, and when the cable comes out from the lever, the spring pulls the lever to maximum. So it so it's a very poor design. So yeah, so that aircraft that I used to fly sadly is no more. That's a great shame. Anyway, I'll quickly show you this little radio here, which I've been working on. This is a, oh, it's quite heavy actually. This is a, it's used by the Czech army, and it's known as a RF-10. And I'm going to put it down anyway because it's quite heavy. But it produces about just over 1 watt out, and but it covers 6 meters, 50 megs, so 44 to 53.95 megahertz, and you can quite often see these at the radio rallies here. They were knocking them out for about £50. They're now, well, on eBay they're over £100, but they're other people sell them at rallies now around the £70, £75 mark. But this particular one had an interesting fault on it, and the way it works on receive, for example, 50 megahertz comes in, and it mixes with 44 megahertz from the little frequency synthesizer, and the IF output is 6 megahertz, and then on transmit it generates an FM carrier on 6 megahertz, mixes with the same 44 megahertz from the phase lock loop to produce 50 megs for transmit. And this particular one, when you press the PTT, there was no output, and when you went to receive, all you heard was noise coming out the receiver. So you think, oh, well, the receiver's working, but actually it isn't, because what happens is when you turn the rotary switches on the phase lock loop to change the frequency, there's extra wafers on the switches which are switching resistors. Because the frequency coverage is so wide, the receiver front end and the transmitter driver stages are all varicap tuned. So there's a high voltage generator in there that generates, I think it's about 22 volts or something. And as you change the frequency of the switches, that puts the correct voltage on the varicap for either the receiver or the transmitter to make sure it's all tuned up. And the fault was the high voltage generator in there. So although the transmitter and the receiver was okay, of course it was all off tune, so that's why there was no receive or no transmit. So that was quite an easy fault to sort out. Anyway, that's about it. I think I'm up to 46 degrees on my heatsink now, so I think I'm going to say 73s to everyone. Very nice to see everybody on here this afternoon, and I won't be around next Sunday. We're having a short holiday away. It's we're going away for our wedding anniversary, so I won't be on next Sunday. Okay. Round to Leon, ZS1 Mike, G4IMO.
Okay, G4IMO, ZS6YI Nick. I'll have to take it because Leon's got load shedding, so they've got no power, and he sent me a quick WhatsApp to say, sorry, he has to bow out. But yeah, interested on that receiver or transceiver, very good. And hello to Rico, DK3ASE, and also to Andre, ZR6AGA. They were also watching. Rico was watching direct, I think, and Andre via YouTube. Right, let's just see. Almost time to wrap up. Leon would have taken it. Bert, Mike's gone. So that's it. I'm going to close the net now. I wish everyone a very happy week. Thanks for joining, participating. And it was very interesting again today. I really appreciate everyone coming up, and also all the viewers on YouTube. We had 69 viewers on YouTube, which is great. We hope to see you guys on the air one day. With that, this is Zulu Sierra 6 Yankee India, cutting carrier, and saying all the best till next time. ZS6YI QRT, closing the net and throwing it in there.
Well, I was hoping to show you a very sunny UK, but a cloud's just come over. But it's been blisteringly hot for the past few days. Anyway, hello. DATW, sorry about the low-level audio, etc. I need to fix the changes that Windows Update has done, but that will take a while. So sorry about that. Not a lot new to report, which is why I don't really have anything to say. If you can look at the bench behind me, you'll see it's completely empty because I've not got anything on there. But interesting net nevertheless, so there we go. Just a few comments. Leon's plane crash, so as in Leon's plane having crashed. That was very sad to see, but glad everyone was okay. I liked the way you were describing it. Each obstacle in turn. It's almost as if you were there. So that was very interesting. And the video of Friedrichshafen and all the things that were done there. I've been going to Friedrichshafen for many years, but not this year. In fact, not since 2019. So I would look forward to going there again if I could. But at the moment, weekends are being taken up by local rallies, National Field Day, all sorts of other things. So I'm not about. The only thing I have done is I've done a bit of minor work in KiCad. So if I show you this, it's my latest thing, which I've been working on, and it's just well, it's for my 9700. It's a prototype. The idea is to look at the CIV and find out what bands it's on at the time, and then energize various sockets with 12 volts or grounding, depending on what they need to do for switching amplifiers and things. You can buy one of these ready-made from the DX shop for a lot less than the effort that it costs you to make one, but unfortunately that one doesn't do all the things I want to see, really. So we'll see if this works. If it doesn't, I'll give in and go and buy one of theirs. But the idea is to be able to get the 9700 to control amplifier and preamps and relay boxes and things. But it's not just the 9700, it should work with the 7300 as well. So there you go. Right, nothing else. I will find my test card, put it up. 7th everyone, hope you have a good week. And again, because of all the events, I think it's Michael Valley next weekend, I won't be on the net. So 7-3, G0MJW.
Mike, it's Nigel. Just want to say, check if my audios I've increased the audio. I've increased the audio, so I don't know if that's any better. If you could let me know a report, please. Better still, more would help. Okay, Mike. Yeah, I couldn't receive you, Mike. Audio was all right, but no picture. So I need to get my disc from 80 up to at least a 120. So because I'm running a separate one. But okay, thanks, mate. I'll increase it more the next time. Go back to standby.
Okay, yeah, your audio is much better. The previous round you had good audio, must say. Forgot to mention that, but you must learn to just mute your audio when you're transmitting. Otherwise you hear an echo of yourself. But you know what? This all comes with a bit of time and a bit of experience, so no problem. But it was a good audio this time. Picture's great. I hope you can see me, by the way, because I've gone over to 2/3 just to make sure. And Nigel, so Mike, what a witty guy. He says, nothing missed, Nigel, I'm not pretty. Oh dear. Anyway, good to see you, Mike, as usual. And I think you said you're back to work on Monday or something. So anyway, we won't see you next week, you say. So, but hopefully the week after that. With that, this is ZS6YI going to go QRT and say all the best to everybody. 7-3.